Welcome back to the program. Tonight on First Issues, we discuss Motshelo as an investment scheme. Year in and year out, men and women come together to start the age-old Motshelo savings. They contribute a certain amount of money each and then lend out the money to individuals at specified interest rates. And then at the end of the year, they divide the profits amongst themselves. And that time is now. Various Motshelo groups have started having meetings to figure out how much money was made throughout the year and how much of the profits each individual will be getting thereafter. Our guest financial consultant Tumelo Boitumelo, however, says the scheme as is has a few challenges because a large majority of these groups raises money, shares the profits, and then usually starts from scratch the next year. This, she says, poses the problem of a lack of continuity and sustainability.
Motshelo is what we call crowdfunding in the most simple terms, where we see a number of people coming together and contributing money. So now in talking about it as an investment scheme, we're inherently saying, let us stop doing it the conventional way and start being more creative, as opposed to gathering money, buying food at the end of the year, sharing the food, and then next year back to the same process. We are now inviting people to take a deliberate decision to make it a proper investment scheme. I could give examples. If maybe you want to start a business, there are 5 of you and you have different business ideas. We start first with Motselo's idea. We contribute 5,000 each. Then Motshelo has capital investment for her particular business idea. And then we now move on to Sejo. We finance her idea. In the next term, we move on to Tumelo. We finance her idea. And ultimately, all 5 of us now have established businesses that can pay back the Motshelo scheme for continuity purposes. And we are each business owners in that sense. So this is just one example that I'm talking about when we say Motshelo as an investment scheme. Another example I can think of is a SACCOS, a savings and credit cooperative society. Motshelo currently happens typically as a SACCOS, but because it's happening at a small scale, or it happens and it's not a lot more formal, then it doesn't seem like it can become such an established organization. But you realize a group of women or a group of people come together, they save and loan each other money. So we're simply saying, registered now as a proper organization that is regulated, and it also ensures the same returns, and it also ensures continuity, basically.
So in formalizing this tool, what sort of challenges are we going to be seeing or foreseeing?
First of all, you realize currently, like I highlighted, there's no continuity. This year you are 10, and next year if 2 of the people who are part of the group decide, I don't want to do this anymore, they leave. So now you're challenged with the task of either looking for 2 people or just operating, at 8. And you realize the lack of formality surrounding the entire arrangement doesn't ensure growth. So that is also another problem that we usually see. But we don't see many challenges coming. We see rather formalization and order in now making it official and making it an established business. What may come across as a challenge would be that a particular member is just used to having their way, maybe because they have more money or the idea is theirs. And this sort of thinking has disadvantaged the level of growth of that particular arrangement. So we see now processes being set up. We see now procedures being followed, which when you look at the economic sense or at an economic level, it is what we need. When you look at countries such as Kenya, SACCOSs, which are Motshelo, are a great contributors to the economy and comprising of a large number of women coming together to save money and loan it to themselves. And we see it bearing many rewards. And they use the same money to also invest in other sectors. So there's a trickle-down effect from just the SACCOs or just the saving or using money, to borrow and save, to also invest in other sectors. It may be business, it may be real estate, or whatever the mandate of that particular group seeks to achieve.
But with this age-old way of saving and investing, how can those challenges be undercut? Seeing that it takes a long time for people to get used to new ways of doing things.
That's very true, and it's a good thing you highlighted, because now we're living in the fourth industrial revolution, where we are compelled, it's not even an option anymore, to keep up with the trends and find innovative ways of, staying relevant. So it's to partner really with the technology industry to find a much more easier way of making, financial inclusion accessible. This is where we're talking about applications. When you talk about alternative means of transacting currently, which are main competitors to the banks, honestly, you realize there's still a place when we're talking about SACCOs to also incorporate technology, or Motshelo, to incorporate technology. It's a simple idea as if there are 50 members, then they all subscribe to that particular app. So payments or transacting is done easily. It also calls for collaborations with financial institutions to not necessarily come across as competition, but to also say you also as banks are compelled to find innovative ways of staying relevant. If people are finding other means of generating money, then you can also be part of the collaboration, or you can be part of the conversation. So it speaks to collaborations, it speaks to partnering with the IT space and bringing convenient means of transacting, really.
Let us conclude our conversation by talking about the safety of Motshelo and making sure that it is more rewarding.
In terms of safety, we are saying the way Motshelo have been run, one lady will put the money in their bank account, and it's prone to, at the end of the year, there are many stories. But now we've seen innovation from financial institutions as well, having accounts that speak particularly Motshelo, which sort of gives them a safe place that has some level of accountability. But now the challenge that has not been eliminated is that one where people start over every year. Because what happens after we have divided the money amongst ourselves? You take 20,000, the other one takes 20,000, the other one takes 20,000. Next year, we're back to where we started. Almost as though we did not spend the rest of the year working hard to grow the money to the level of 20,000. So it is saying how much of that money is retained, in the individual profiles of this particular portfolio, not just as an account, but as an investment portfolio. How much as an individual am I contributing to the investment portfolio that I have or that we hold as a collective? It now calls for engaging financial experts. We're talking about portfolio analysts, and just move away from doing things, Setswana or in a conventional way.